Hey bass, this is a demo video for Shortnin Bread arranged by Daniel Tobias for our orchestra, and this is your bass rundown, measures to practice, and then I'll end the video with an entire run through with metronome at tempo. The very first place to start, I think, is measure 21 through 28. There's a lot of important stuff that's actually happening right here. The very first thing to take note is that measure 22 and measure 23, you have these new symbols in front of your notes. These are called accidentals. And so in measure 22, what happens is you have a C natural and an F natural. And in the following measure, you have a B flat and an E flat. So here's how these accidentals actually work. We have to go back to what's called the key signature. So if you look at the beginning of each line, you'll see your bass clef, which I'll try to draw backwards, of course, but we have, no, I have to go that way, dot, dot, right there. So you'll see your bass clef, and right next to the bass clef is an area where you see two sharp symbols, and that is called our key signature. In this particular key, we have two sharps, and if you take a look at all the lines and spaces, you'll see that the first sharp is actually through the F line, and the next sharp is actually on the space for C in the bass clef. So that means that for the entire piece, every F is sharp and every C is sharp. That's what the key signature actually tells us. It also lets us know that because those two are sharp, the rest of the notes are actually natural. Now, with the exception of 22 and looking 26, you have C natural and F natural. That means for those two measures, and those two measures alone, you have an accidental, so it's C natural and F natural, just for that. And in the following measures, which will be 23 and 27, you actually have B and E. And since those are already natural in the key signature, there's a flat next to it telling us that we are actually going to play those as B flat and E flat. So a great way to approach 21 is to actually go to half position. So if you have your first finger tape, your first finger is going to line up right about here. And for me, it should be about eye level, actually, for the bass, where you are. And that means first finger is on A natural on the G string. So that's first position. If we slide back to where second finger is where first finger was, we're now in half position. So when we approach 22, we go to the A string. That means fourth finger is going to be on C natural instead of second finger. We hop up to the D string. Fourth finger, once again, is on F natural and instead of our second finger. And so now we go up a string again to the G string. Fourth finger, right here, is on B flat. First finger is on E flat on the D string when we cross over. So once you have that placement down, make sure you're using the elbow to get all the way around for it. When you get to 21, it sounds like this. Open D. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. And once you have that down, 25 through 28 conveniently is a repeat of measures 21 through 24. So you're able to actually play that twice in a row. Once you have that down, I would definitely go skip ahead to measure 37. And that way you practice the bow lists that are actually there. So we have open G and open D. So down, up, down, and we lift. And you can see my arm lift. I don't have enough camera space. Actually, you can see what's going on here. But if I lower that, you'll see I reset, and that's what happens for 37 and 38, and those measures come back. The next two measures, lift again and reset. Very important to get all that bowing stuff happening right there, and very important to note that when we play those measures earlier, at measure 13 and 14, that we don't bow lift, even though they are the exact same notes. So once you have those measures down, you should be able to run the entire piece. Make sure that you actually, your whole notes at measure 5, and every time it comes afterwards, those whole notes get 4 full beats. So you're going to hear the click, and you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to listen for that click and really count inside that whole note as you're actually playing. So I'm going to go ahead and get my metronome going. It's going to be set to 120 beats per minute. You can certainly, on your own practice with a metronome, practice at a lower tempo and build that tempo up to 120 beats per minute. So, get that going, and here's the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. 1. So there you have a rundown of Shortnin Bread, and I hope this video is beneficial for you, and especially learning what measures to practice first before you actually attempt starting from the beginning and playing the whole thing straight through. Definitely, like I said earlier, practice the metronome. And one thing I didn't mention was at 33, it is marked piano, and it's really important to actually play really soft, still in time, still confident and bold sound, but just very, very soft and tender in volume. That way you can come back out again at 37 for a full forte right there. As always, happy practicing and good luck.